Alright, hey everyone, this is going to be episode 15 of Injustice 2 Character Talks, and it's only going to be on the Red Lantern Atrocitus. And since I don't know anything about him, and a friend of mine sent me the wiki link, so I'm going to read the whole thing on Atrocitus, and there's also another character involved because he's part of the Red Lantern Corps, so he will be mentioned. So let's get started. Go back up to where we're gonna read the whole page, but we're gonna read the side first where it says like his aliases and stuff. So his real name is Atros, his current alias is Atrocitus. His aliases include Atrocitus of the Five Inversions, Red Lantern. He has relatives being an unnamed wife, a daughter named Traka, I don't know how to say it. I mean, I don't know how to pronounce it right, but it's spelled Trkka. That's his daughter, and there's Lemmy, his son. His team affiliations include Red Lantern Corps. He's a former member of the Five Inversions, Empire of Tears, New Guardians. And his base operations is called Yismalt. I'm not sure how it's said again, so I apologize if I said that wrong. His alignment is neutral, so he's both good and bad, I guess, kind of like Catwoman. His identity, secret identity. He is widowed because his wife, I guess, is deceased. He's the Red Lantern leader, basically. That's his occupation. His origin is New Earth. His place of birth is Ryut, and his creators are Jeff Johns and Ethan Van Sciver. His first appearance was in Green Lantern Volume 4, number 25, in January of 2008. Which might explain why he's not in my encyclopedia, because I did search. So, the history of Atrocitus. Long ago, when the rogue manhunters rampaged through Green Lantern Sector 666, Atrocitus was one of only 5 beings in the entire sector to escape death. He and the other 4 survivors formed a terrorist cabal known as the Five Inversions, bent on the destruction of the Guardians of the Universe and all who served them, with Atrocitus serving as a leader. The Five Inversions performed a ritual that allowed them to peer into the future and discover the prophecy of the Blackest Night, which decreed that all life in the universe would end. They ruled a massive domain known as the Empire of Tears until the Guardians of the Universe defeated the Five Inversions and imprisoned them on the capital Yismalt. After Abin Sur arrived trying to locate survivors of a crash, he went to the imprisoned demons and asked for their assistance. Atrocitus refused to help him, but his comrade Ko freely offered to answer 3 questions: the location of the survivors, the fate of Abin Sur, and the prophecy of the Blackest Night. Sur told this to the Guardians of the Universe, in turn kept the 5 Inversions on Yismalt instead of transferring them to Owen Sciencells. Following this, Sur began to make periodic visits to Yismalt to learn how to prevent the Blackest Night, and he went so far as to free Atrocitus from his imprisonment so he could lead the Green Lantern to Earth, the birthplace of the Black that would end the universe. Caged in Sur's starship, Atrocitus instilled fear in Sur, allowing the Yellow Impurity to seep into his willpower constructs and weaken them enough to escape. And after slashing the Green Lantern in the chest, mortally wounding him, Atrocitus jumped from a high point Earth's atmosphere to escape Sur's falling ship. Okay, so he sounds interesting so far. So Atrocitus continued his violent rampage on the planet Earth. After killing an unspecified number of Air Force troopers, Atrocitus recited an oath that will possibly become the battle cry of the Red Lanterns and performed a ritual that gave him the name of the Herald of the Blackest Night. William Hand, Atrocitus created a device using gun parts which acted as a cosmic divining rod and used it to lead him to Hand. The device eventually became Hand's criminal weapon. Once he tracked down the human who it is said will play a prominent role in the coming of the Blackest Night, he attacked and planned to take Hand's innards back to Yismalt. Before his plan proceeded, though, Sinestro and rookie Green Lantern Hal Jordan intercepted him, spiriting William Hand to safety. Atrocitus used his newly constructed device to sap power from the rings, leaving them with wits to defend them before the master of the 5 inversions. Sinestro is able to restore the ring's powers through his power battery, but Atrocitus still has the upper hand just as he is about to crush Sinestro with Power Shovel. Hal uses his ring to blow up the yellow vehicle, surprising Atrocitus greatly as he believes Green Lantern rings do not work on yellow. And defeated, Atrocitus is contained by Sinestro and taken to Owo. After Sinestro dropped Atrocitus back on Eastmalt, Atrocitus and the other inversions impaired a prophecy of the eventual rebellion of Sinestro's homeworld of Kruger. Sinestro didn't believe his lies and told Atrocitus, unlike Abensur, you would not fall to fear. Okay. And the next storyline is the Rage of the Red Lanterns. Atrocitus shown in the aftermath of the Sinestro Corps War to be the first to forge a Red Lantern power battery. Utilizing the power of rage, he said that his first new victim would be the one who called himself the greatest Green Lantern, Sinestro, who had long since abandoned the Green Lantern Corps to forge a corpse in his own namesake. His Red Lantern power battery needed to be christened with blood, and he used it to beat Cole to death. It's savage. Okay, so swearing to destroy Sinestro, Atrocitus became the first member of the Red Lantern Corps, so he's leader. Killing the other inversions, Atrocitus used their blood to form a central power battery as well as a power ring, sending more rings into space. Atrocitus soon formed an army of victims of the Sinestro Corps. Once they were ready, he led the Red Lanterns in an attack to the Green Lanterns, escorting Sinestro back to Kruger to face execution, who were already suffering an ambush from the Sinestro Corps. Atrocitus tore one Green Lantern in half, as the Red Lanterns killed any and all between them as Sinestro. Once they captured Sinestro and a number of his corps, they retreated to Eastmalt, leaving the Green Lanterns to die. Okay. So, returning to Eastmalt, Atrocitus had Sinestro crucified to a Red Lantern symbol, vowing to use his blood to form new rings for his corpse, which would destroy Kruger, the Sinestro Corps, and the Green Lantern Corps. Sinestro was not intimidated, further licensed that he was unable to frighten Sinestro. Atrocitus used the heart of a dead Sinestro Corps member to learn his enemy's secrets. The ritual showed the truth to Atrocitus, who vowed to destroy the one thing which Sinestro had hidden from all others, his daughter. Following this, Hal Jordan arrived with the Blue Lanterns, St. Walker, and Brother Worth, as the Sinestro Corps launched another rescue attempt. And Atrocitus knew that the Blue Lanterns needed Jordan's green ring to make the blue rings reach their full potential, and told Jordan that he would rebel again and destroy the Guardians. When Jordan was possessed by a red ring, Atrocitus took the fight to Walker, breaking his wrist and revealing the truth of the Blue Lantern's weaknesses. Walker countered by placing his own ring upon Jordan and breaking the red light's hold over Jordan and destroying the red ring and injuring Atrocitus. Sinestro and his corpse escaped to Cord, while Atrocitus and his Red Lanterns retreated to the dark side of Eastmalt. There, Atrocitus performed another ritual to reveal the location of the black. I don't know why I just said black. Location of the Blue Lantern's homeworld. So, the next story arc is Blackest Night. And then I will go over his powers and abilities and discuss other said character. So, during the Blackest Night, the Lost Lanterns came to Eastmalt to retrieve Laura's body, but were opposed to Atrocitus and the Red Lanterns. During the conflict, several Black Power Rings descended onto Eastmalt, reanimated the body of Lara and Atrocitus' fellow inversions. The reanimated coal ripped out Atrocitus' heart. However, because Red Lantern rings effectively replaced the wearer's hearts, the attack did not kill him. He later appeared on Okara to steal Larfleeze's power battery. However, Hal Jordan, Carol Ferris, Sinestro, St. Walker, Ganthet-Sade, and Indigo One saved the two from Black Lanterns and stopped Atrocitus. He was then brought back to Ryut, where he was born, where his rage subsided into grief for his lost world. He agreed to help in the fight against the Black Lanterns, but promised to kill the Guardians when the conflict was over. Following the Black Lantern Central power battery to Earth, the Corps later combined their lights to form the White Light of Creation, which, despite Indigo One's claims, failed to destroy the battery, instead making the force behind it stronger. Ganthet then duplicated the leader's rings in an attempt to bolster their forces. The duplicate of Atrocitus' ring found its way to Mira, temporarily inducting her into the Red Lantern Corps. So that's how Mira became a Red Lantern at one point. That's good to know. I'll discuss that more when I do my character episode on her, though, which is going to be way later from now. When the Corps leaders and their deputies being attacked by a Black Lantern Spectre, Atrocitus senses the spirit's true nature. Despite being influenced by the Black Ring, an embodiment of rage and vengeance, he desires to harness the Spectre's powers for his vendettas against the Guardians. After the spirit is free from the Black Lantern Corps, where Parallax frees from the Spectre, Atrocitus attempts to convert him into his own rage entity, but fails. The Spectre warning him that the true rage entity is not to be trifled with. Okay. So, next story arc. Bright as day. Following the defeat of the Black Lanterns, Atrocitus returns to East Maltness soon after, approached by Ganthet and Guy Gardner, who asked to join them in an as yet unidentified mission. Despite his utter hatred for the Guardians, Atrocitus agrees, sending the Red Lantern Bleeze to assist Guy. Sometime later, he appeared in New York City with the feline. Oh, so it does mention Dex. Okay, so Dex is the second character we're talking about here, because he's one of Atrocitus' greatest allies, best allies, that helps him out. So, sometime later, after he appeared in New York City with the feline Red Lantern Corps member Dex Star in search of the emotional spectrum entities, they killed several criminals in the subway. While sparring the remaining riders in the subway car. When he performed his blood ritual, it revealed to him the location of the entities except for Ion and Parallax. Hal, Carol, and Sinestro confronted Atrocitus for his murderous actions as he finished the ritual. However, he justified them by claiming they did what they did to protect innocence. Carol confirmed Atrocitus' sincerity by detecting a spark of love in his heart with their powers that wasn't there during their previous encounter, only to have her words ignite his anger. In a rage, Atrocitus blasts the tree out of the subway and engages in combat. During the brawl, it's revealed that he learned how to create constructs with his powers. Their fight is interrupted as Lobo makes an appearance, incapacitating Hal. The Lanterns join together to fight off Lobo, with Atrocitus revealing that he is on Earth to stop the being who is capturing the emotional entities. It is later revealed that Atrocitus had hired Lobo to attack him in order to gain the others' trust. So during his search for the rage entity known as the Butcher, Atrocitus incinerates a prison bus full of murderers, claiming that those who take life do not deserve it. So, he really is, like, good and bad. Atrocitus locates the Butcher, who is about to possess a man whose daughter has been killed by a death row inmate. Despite the Spectre's attempts to stop it, the Butcher succeeds, killing the criminal. The Butcher then attempts to possess Atrocitus, revealing that Atrocitus had a wife and children who were killed in the Manhunters attack. With the Spectre's help, Atrocitus wards up the Butcher and imprisons it within his power battery. The Spectre attempts to judge the man that the Butcher possessed, but Atrocitus argues that his method of judgment is flawed. The Spectre calls off his judgment and is unable to judge Atrocitus, discovering that his mission is a holy one. So, he returns to Jordan and the other new Guardians, Hal, Carol, Sinestro, Larfleeze, aka Agent Orange, Saint Walker, Indigo One, and himself, just as a robed figure gained upper hand in their fight, catching him off guard with a burst of his napalm acidic blood. Atrocitus vented his long suppressed rage against the Guardians upon Krona, knowing of his Maltus origins and now how he has once connected to the Guardians of the Universe. Without the rage entity to control Atrocitus' powers, Krona fell victim to his attack as the Red Lantern viciously bites him in the jugular. Using the Ion entity to counterattack, Krona used Ophidian to disrupt the new Guardians from fighting back, including Atrocitus learning that he had trapped the Butcher inside of his lantern. Krona exorcised the Rage entity from its prison and made him his own, and Atrocitus and the new Guardians were utterly defeated and once again stuck together to find Krona, using Larfleeze to track down the Avarice entity. So, that's quite a story. So next one is War of the Green Lanterns. Atrocitus and the rest of the new Guardians make their way to Ryut, where Larfleeze has detected Ophidian. Krona and the entities are nowhere to be found, but the group does come upon the Book of the Black. Inside, they discover that it was Krona who purposely reprogrammed the Manhunters to wipe out all life in Sector 666. Atrocitus revealed that he already knew this. Former Sinestro Corps member Alyssa Drac appears and quickly subdues the new Guardians, trapping all but Hal in the Book of the Black. When Hal meets up with Guy Gardner at the greenhouse, he reveals the pact made between him, Ganthet, and Atrocitus. It's revealed that the part of the pact that was once Krona had been defeated, he would be turned over to Atrocitus to face justice, and Hal told Guy that this most likely means executing Krona. Very nice. With that being said, we're going to go over his powers and abilities and then briefly talk about Dexstar. So, his powers include alien physiology, superhuman strength, superhuman durability, claws. He uses blood magic, so he's able to call upon the necromancy powers formerly used by the Empire Tears and later the Five Inversions. The magic is steeped in ancient and complete complex rituals, so he has to perform like rituals to do things. And powers also include precognition. By using blood rituals, he's capable of opening himself to discern the future. General prophecy is easier to ascertain than specific knowledge. He and other versions were able to foretell the Blackest Night prophecy and determine the beginning of the fall of Sinestro from the Green Lantern Corps, but then he was upon Earth. When he was upon Earth looking for William Hand, he had to enact a blood ritual to discern specific details of his whereabouts. His abilities include boundless rage. Over countless millennia of imprisonment, he has developed a tremendous rage and hatred for his jailers, the Guardians of the Universe, and the Green Lantern Corps. And his other abilities include occultism. His equipment is a red power battery. His weapons are his red lantern ring. So again, like I said, he's basically the leader of the Red Lantern Corps. So with that being said, we're going to move on to Dexstar. If the Wikipedia will load. Okay, so briefly, we're going to discuss Dexstar. So his real name is Dexter. His current alias is Dexstar. He's part of the Red Lantern Corps. He's an ally to Atrocitus. His base of operations are Yeastmalt. He is bad. His identity is public identity. His marital status is single. He is from New Earth. His place of birth is Brooklyn, New York. and he was created by Jeff Johns and Shane Davis, first appearing in Final Crisis Rage of the Red Lanterns #1, December 2008, and initially he was created as a joke by Shane Davis, and I will go on to that when I can find full details for that. So, Dexter is a house cat from the planet Earth who is among the deadliest of the Red Lantern Corps. So he's one of the deadliest members of the Red Lantern Corps. He was given his ring after a series of events that resulted in seeing his owner killed, where he was put in a bag when he was found in an alley by cops, and they threw him off the bridge, and what happened was Atrocitus then saved him by giving him his red power ring, and he turned into a Red Lantern member. So his mission is to find his owner's killer, basically, and kill them. And his equipment includes red power ring and red power battery. And this says that he was originally drawn by Shane Davis as a joke for one of the spreads of the Red Lanterns in Final Crisis Rage of the Red Lanterns #1. It was given a few more panels of Jeff Johns' insistence, and was named after Davis' cat Dexter. So, he sounds like a very interesting character. And initially he was just a blue house cat named Dexter from Earth, and he was abandoned and then later adopted from the Brooklyn Animal Shelter, and his new owner loved him because he was always there to keep her company. And then one night someone broke into their home and Dexter scratched the burglar and he screamed in pain, and Dexter's owner woke up and called for help, but unfortunately the help never came. And the next day, 2 cops outside the apartment talked about how it was a burglary that went bad as Dexter sat outside the door, and the fate of Dexter's owner is unknown. So we don't know what happened to her. As I said, the cops kicked him out, saying that he was going to contaminate the scene, apparently unknowing that Dexter was a resident in the apartment. He was left homeless for an unknown amount of time, living in a box on the street. Then 2 thugs called him out. And begged him. To their amusement, they decided to throw Dexter, while still inside the bag, off the Brooklyn Bridge to see him drown, just as they throw him into the river. To discuss whether or not he'll die on impact, a red power ring flies in, detecting the rage in his heart and turn him into a Red Lantern. And then he embraces his new identity as Dexter. So, because of the events with his owner, he now vows to find the person who hurt his owner and kill him because he is a good kitty. That's what this says. So, despite having the appearance of a cute little cat, according to Jeff Johns, Dexter is one of the most malicious Red Lanterns. His favorite tactic is to fly up, looking deceptively innocent and cute, with his opponent off guard. He then spews energized blood, and because of this, because of his Red Lantern vomit, a Sinestro corpsman from Sector 3 was killed by Dexter. And he accompanied the Lantern Corps during a truce to fight off the Black Lanterns, and originally he was supposed to have a larger part. However, he was originally meant to have a large battle with Crypto, and then she would be forced to battle an undecided Black Lantern. However, the creators decided to scrap the idea and had Crypto more involved with Superboy turning Black Lantern. So that's why Dex didn't have a bigger part in Blackest Night. But after the Brightest Day storyline, him and Atrocitus spend more time on Earth observing the environment and the people. And during this time, a robbery occurs in New York City, and Dexter and Atrocitus are there, and Dexter incinerates one of the thieves while making a cute cat face. That's interesting. So, with that being said, there's not much more to speak about with Dexter on here. but his powers and abilities I'm gonna go over. So his powers and abilities that are granted to him through the ring are animating, which will move things how he wants. Caustic effect, which can damage and drain away the power of other lanterns, almost like a poison. Communicator, it can act as a personal communicator between lanterns. There's costumes, which are usually all red and black with red lantern symbols. And so as the other lanterns, he can create constructs, energy constructs and projections, like beams and protective bubbles, fields, and fire destructive blasts. He can fly, and heart replacement is also another ability. They can replace the heart of the lantern who wields them, so removing a red lantern ring is often fatal without medical attention or the presence of a blue lantern. And Atrocitus once had his heart ripped out and was able to return to the fight within seconds as his ring serves as a heart. And he can also create mirages, illusions, and recharge through a power battery. And each ring can duplicate itself. There's also temperature control and electromagnetic scanning, which can allow them to see through walls and stuff. So, Atrocitus' part. Well, Atrocitus, I don't really know his exact part in the game, so I can't really guess. But I'm kind of thinking he's on his own, since he is a neutral party. And Dexter can fight alongside Atrocitus in Justice 2. Although not being fully playable, he can be summoned by Atrocitus and can shoot energy blasts, create a shield in front of Atrocitus, and can attack the opponent. So, he's a very interesting character. Both Dexter and Atrocitus. I'm not too into the Green Lantern comics or Red Lantern Corps and all that stuff, so I don't know everything about like the different corps, like blue, green, red. But he's very interesting. He's a very interesting character. I will try him out in Injustice 2, and he will probably not be a main, but he's definitely interesting, so I will definitely try him out. So if you enjoyed this episode, please let me know. And the next one will be on Brainiac, which will be sometime. It will be up later tonight sometime, or it will be up tomorrow or something like that. So with that being said, feel free to watch my Grodd episode. I will put it in the link at the end of this video to click on, so you can watch it if you feel like it. So yeah, let me know what you think of Atrocitus and Dexter, and do you like that he can be summoned by Atrocitus? All that stuff. So let me know, and thank you for watching. And again, I will put the Grodd video at the end of this one, so you guys can check that out. So again, thanks for watching.